practice of yoga, how should you start? First thing is that all of us know only our gross body, and we don't know about our subtle and causal bodies. But gross body we know, though not completely, but we know fairly well about it. Now we will have to start at the level of gross body, because first we will have to overcome the bondage of Mahabhutas. When we created the bondage, it was from top to bottom. Now for throwing out the bondage, you have to rise from bottom to top. It is like that. If we put on 3 clothes on our body, one the inner one, then the next shirt, and then the next, and then the next, like you put a shirt and then a jacket and a coat and then an overcoat, then if I say, take out your inner shirt, what will you do? Without taking out overcoat or coat and jacket, you can't take out shirt. Maybe with the use of blade and with skill you may take out. But here it is not possible. So, what we don the last, we have to take out first. So, we got 5 Mahabhutas, bondage of gross body at the end. So first we have to throw that out, throw that away. Now, in order to throw that away, what will you do? How to do? Tell me. Now I ask a question. Afterwards you ask a question. Don't worry, nobody will fail. Yes?
I would imagine that you
Yes.
have to concentrate so fully on the body and see what's beneath it, making it work, so that your consciousness and your energy goes more into the next level.
You are right in a way. You are right in a way. That try to find out what is the energy which can lift you in your body, isn't it? Now what is energy which can lift you in the body? Yeah, right. You see, with the help of this side, you can throw away that side. That is inert matter. But this is live matter, life force coming out of soul, and you want to go back to the soul. So catch hold of this thread, red thread. If you catch hold of black thread, you will again reach the Prakriti at the most. So it will be just full circle back, and that we do very often, and that's why we are born and we die, and in the same circle we roll, you see, because we catch the black threads, catch the red thread in your body. Have you found that red thread in your body? Red thread? Yes? White layers. So now, those 10 pranas about which you have learnt are not trifle. If you want to succeed in worldly life, you need college degree or some skill or some sort of business, some property or money to invest in business or something in order to succeed. In order to succeed in the spiritual realm, this is your property at hand first. Start business with this much property, whatever you have. Then as you earn more, your property will go on increasing till it becomes Brahman. So now, with 10 pranas or vital airs, you should start sadhana. And there sadhana begins. Now, If the red thread you have caught cannot take your weight, you will fall. Suppose there is a thread hanging, and red thread hanging, and I tell you, start climbing. You will hesitate. You will say, Muniji, but the thread will break with my weight, isn't it? You will tell that. You won't start climbing, I know. Then what should be done? Take many red threads together, weave it into a rope, then you can climb. So God has given us 10. Make a rope out of it. Take 10 strings and weave it. That will take your weight. Now, the 10 strings, when they become one rope, do you call these are 10 strings, or you call that this is a rope? Tell me. You call rope, not strings. And when you weave those 10 strings into one rope, it is generic. So first weave the rope perfectly, and then you read the generic.
So basically, as the pranas that are carrying out all various functions, vital life force functions in the body, when they begin to work in perfect harmony, in synchronicity, yes, then the vital force increases.
Right. Perfectly right. And I want to explain at this level how the 3 gunas also work in the same way. I'll tell. The meaning of guna, there are 2 meanings of guna in Sanskrit. Guna means quality, as generally we translate. But another meaning of guna in Sanskrit is guna means string or thread. So now, those 3 also weave a string or a rope, those 3 gunas. But that rope is not for climbing, that rope is for binding us. Prakriti binds us. It makes you stand near a pillar and then puts the rope around and makes a tight knot. So those threads, black threads, also make a rope, but rope for binding us. And the red threads make a rope with which we can climb and come out of bondage. Now, no sooner you can weave the rope and realize what really this vital force is, then you will realize what your subtle body is, and you forget about your physical body. That's how you transcend your physical body with the help of vital layers and realize what real prana is and realize your subtle body.
At what stage do we realize the prana?
Yes,
is that at pranathan level? Or
No. That is at the level of pratyahara.
Pratyahara,
Yes.
much higher.
Pratyahara means your total withdrawal of mind, as you say, from senses. At that level you realize what prana is. And till you cannot do pratyahara, you are extroverted. So with extrovert mind you know only gross thing and gross body. That is waking state. Now, each one of us has some glimpse, if not of Atman, something of Chitta, something of this vital force, and more of these vital layers. When do we know this? When you are sleeping and dreaming. In dream, nowadays I don't know, you must be performing asanas in dream. But there in USA, perhaps in dream you might be going out, driving a car, or running, jogging, doing gardening or something. Now who does all those things? Without moving your hands and legs. In the bed you are doing all these things. And you feel, oh, you are perfectly doing. It's only when you open your eyes then you say, oh no, I wasn't doing. You were doing. That is an experience of subtle body. But that experience is not perfect experience of subtle body, but you can now understand. With closed eyes you see daylight, you are moving in daylight and everything is perfect. That is a glimpse of how subtle body functions, but the force at that level which makes you undergo all these changes and understand are these two, prana and consciousness. And at gross level, with the help of all the three, we understand what we are doing. It's not only vital airs. If you don't have consciousness, how will you understand and grasp? Because in gross body, other two bodies remain. We don't use any body in isolation. All the three bodies are used together at gross level or at the waking state level. But once we know the art of coming out of these fetters of Mahabhutas without dying, otherwise we can come out. You see, this gross body we can leave, but then we can't enter. But that's not a good case. We want to leave the gross body and be able yet to remain in it. So, that will happen at the level of pratyahara. Then your subtle body level experience begins. Now at that level you further catch hold of prana. Now subtle body, prana works. You must have learnt that in subtle body, as we have channels in gross body, there are nadis in subtle body too. And you also must have known that there are thousands of nadis, out of which some are major, out of which only three are very important, Ida, Pingala and Sushumna, and how major nadis come out from one source known as Kanda, which is below the navel. Navel is just not of gross body, it's a level which is shown that in subtle body, at what location Kanda exists. So as we have our veins and arteries coming out of heart and spreading through the body, our nerves coming out of the brain and spreading through the body, similarly subtle body, there is also these nadis which come out of Kanda. That is the center from where it spreads throughout the body. Now, as at gross level, the nadis of gross body are important, their functioning are important. Similarly, at subtle level, the functioning of those nadis are important. Now, in gross nadis, in arteries, red blood flows, pure blood flows and goes to all parts of the body. Veins take out the used blood, what we call blue blood, and takes it back after refining again to the heart. From brain, all our nervous system takes all our samvedana, impulses and feelings, sensations to different parts of the body. Similarly, and in nerves, blood doesn't flow. In nerves, what flows is cerebrospinal fluid. So something must be flowing in the channels of the subtle body also. What is it which flows? Prana. You are right. Oh, you are all ready. You have already understood. So this vital force, that is the energy which flows in the subtle body. At that time you will understand real generic prana. And it is about that prana that very much is written in the yogic texts. That prana now flows in Ida, Pingala, and when it stops flowing in those dual nadis too, then it will start flowing in Sushumna, and there really Pranothan begins, technically. Prana, Utthan. The whole word is containing two Sanskrit words, Prana, Utthan. But in Sanskrit, when it is joined, Pranothan it becomes. Utthan means going up, rising upward. That is Utthan. Pran is the rising up of the pran. But where and from where? From the lower part, lower mouth of the Sushumna, rising through Sushumna and going up to the upper part of Sushumna. That is Pranothan. Pranothan is not an ordinary phenomenon in spiritual experience. Now, this is the concept of prana. Now, with the help of prana, when the subtle body also is purified, it is, you have learnt that Ida and Pingala also have a lot of impurities in them. So you have to purify that. As you have to purify your gross body for sadhana, similarly you have to purify your subtle body also for sadhana. And when that is, these two nadis are purified, then comes the turn of purification of Sushumna, which also is blocked. And when Sushumna is purified and prana rises through Pranothan and goes up into the sixth chakra, Ajna chakra, then it hands over the charge to Chitta. Like a relay race, you must have seen in relay race, one runner runs with a baton, and as he reaches the other man, he passes on the baton, then the other fellow runs. Now prana stops running. So it is said, Bhruvor Madhya Shiva Sthanam Pranastatra Vilayate. Bhruvor Madhya Shiva Sthanam. Between the eyebrows there is the place of Lord Shiva, and the prana dissolves there. Up to there it can run. Then it has to pass on the baton to Chitta. Now no sooner prana passes on the baton to Chitta, then you are one with your causal body. You forget then existence of subtle. You have come out of the fetters of two bodies. Still the causal body remains. Now it is that yoga which Patanjali has described, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Patanjali has not talked about small things. He has talked about the final stage of yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is union between individual soul and the universal spirit. And how that union can be attained. So he says that stop all modifications of this, and you attain oneness. It is so simple. Now, to understand that simple statement, the whole libraries are filled. Patanjali also wrote small aphorisms, but 190 or whatever aphorisms, he wrote just to explain this one aphorism, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And in order to explain those small aphorisms, books have been printed which can fill libraries and libraries and libraries, and yet no book can tell you how to reach there. But how to reach there, who can tell now, tell me? Not the libraries, but a guru who has trodden this path can tell you. And Guru will never write this in any book, because Guru's Guru and his Guru and his Guru and all Gurus and the original Guru who gave this has also not written. As Lord Krishna tells in Gita, that I have originally passed on this yoga to the first man, Manu. And in the last chapter, after telling all the different types of yogas and writing 700 stanzas, after speaking, so to say, 700 stanzas, at the end he tells Arjuna, look Arjuna, don't tell this to anyone. This is secret. And you have printed all those 700 stanzas. And he says, don't tell this to anyone. And we know, then did Arjuna make a mistake? Or the sages made a mistake in printing Gita? No, they know that these 700 stanzas are general statements, but this most secret is not given. And that's why Lord Krishna told Arjuna that I have spoken all this, but now I tell you in your ear, which don't tell to anyone. And what he told in his ear, the Gurus have been telling to their disciples in ear. And nobody writes about it. So that is the secret. That is why there is importance of guru-disciple relationship and lineages. Without that you will never get the truth. Some people have nausea about guru, that I am so intelligent, why should I have a guru? Well, I too had 2 university degrees, and Guruji only studied up to 7th standard. But I thought it wise to catch his feet if I wanted to learn this. And I learned. So here, intelligence, degrees and whatever outer achievements, it doesn't count. If we want truth, we have to have a guru. And guru who knows, guru by definition, it means he must be knowing. Now, when Chitta sadhana begins, this is the stage of samadhi. We knew that when pratyahara is reached, we know about the subtle body. Now in subtle body, what stages we passed? Dharana and dhyana. So now when subtle body is left out and only causal body, there the samadhi begins. The first savikalpa samadhi. And when you realize spirit, savikalpa samadhi is over. Then to realize God, it is nirvikalpa samadhi. So it is very easy to understand Ashtanga Yoga also through this chart. And any type of understanding that we have, if it doesn't fit into this, it is wrong. If you understand this much, you will never misunderstand anything about yoga. And you see, You may learn an Ashtanga Yoga for 2 months, but what you have learnt in 1 hour is real. With this understanding now you can learn not only for 2 months, for 6 months, but keep this in mind. Now, when we try to begin at the lower level, we must first, as I told, weave the threads of 10 vital hairs into a rope. Now, if we want to weave them into a rope, what should we do? How to weave a rope? Any one of you know? First, know all the 10 threads, and know and keep ends of all the threads with you. Now, what process you will do?
So we have to control each thread. We have to have the control of the individual threads.
Control and then weave it properly. You see, one after the other. There is a science of it. You can't just take 10 threads and just pull it like this and becomes rope. There's a technique of doing it. So, that technique of doing it is what you are learning. Asanas, pranayamas, shatkarmas, as you advance, then will come mudras, bandhas. All these things are techniques which help you to weave this thread. And before you can efficiently weave the thread, as you say, first catch the ends of them all and keep together. And 10 vital hairs are there. So 10 ends must be in your hand. And what are the 10 ends? Now you know, I know, that you know. 5 yamas and 5 niyamas. First catch hold of those ends. And then weave the thread into a rope with the help of these techniques. Asana, pranayam, bandh, etc. Now you have understood what Ashtanga Yoga is in a nutshell. Now let us understand it in coconut shell.